All right, we're going to have Patrick Moraites join us now. He is an expert with PEO, the PEO Business Professional Employer Organization, and Axis Group is his company.
Hey, Brandon, what's going on?
Hey, man, I think a lot of people are wondering, how do they access some of these programs? How can they get some of the money that's being passed in record numbers from the government?
Yeah, and Rick brought up an excellent point of new funding coming online, which is exciting and needed. Some of the statistics of the 30 million businesses out there, small businesses, just a little over close to 2 million received funding in the first round. So that just gives you some perspective of how quickly that money got gobbled up because of the high demand. And piggybacking on some of the things Rick said, the whole purpose of that PPP loan is to really get people out of that unemployment line and back on payroll, so that come end of May and June, people will be back, or businesses will have the momentum they need to be able to put people back on payroll for a full-time basis. But with respect to that PPP loan, reaching out to your local bank, your local community bank that you work with, is extremely important, because there has been, for lack of better words, preferential treatment given by some of the bigger banks to some of their bigger clients. I'm sure you've seen all the headlines from the big hospitality groups like your Ruth's Chris of the worlds, where they were able to receive multiple fundings in the $10 million plus range a couple times over. And then even one hospitality group, after all the negative publicity, gave their funding back. So you're going to get clogged up in the sea of applications with those large groups. So working with your smaller banking institutions will provide you a faster way to get the funding needed. For example, Banco ZK is a great bank in this community. Bank of Tampa, another great local small community bank. Just to name a few. But the other important thing too, again, keep referring back to Rick. When he first heard of it, he said he got with his CFO and got organized. It's important that you have all your documents together first shot around, so you don't clog up the system, so there's not a lot of back and forth, and that way you'll navigate through the channel faster. So making sure you have your P&Ls together from end of year 2019, year-to-date P&Ls, your 941 showcasing your payroll numbers, your tax returns from 2019, 2018, business and personal, depending upon the type of business that you are, because there's different requirements if you're a sole proprietorship LLC, if you're an S corp, or if you're an LLC partnership, and so on and so forth. So checking all those boxes first is going to be extremely important in order to ensure that you get funding this go around.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Patrick, because if you're submitting your application with partial paperwork, it's just frustrating. It's going to clog the system up. The processors at the bank, the internal way that they're working and they're touching these, it's going to probably go to a processor and then a final underwriter. They're just going to have this pile of halfway completed applications, and it's going to slow it down for everyone. It's going to cause a lot of confusion.
It extends the time frame and timetable of you being able to get the funding that you're striving to get. And if you are working with, if you're fortunate to have a CFO or controller, you're probably organized and have this data. I know accountants have been extremely busy and bookkeepers have been extremely busy compiling this information that's needed. If you use a PEO or employee leasing company, which is our core business, they can support you on multiple levels, from pulling the appropriate payroll documentation. Health insurance is included as part of the calculation of your payroll. So there's several different boxes that can be checked that you're going to want to make sure that you include in the calculation to maximize the amount of payout so that you can leverage that for as long as possible. So it's important that you work with those partners that you have, and I know that they're working overtime and tirelessly to get the necessary documentation to get to the small business owners so that they can get the funding needed to stay in business, because that is, what fuels this economy is that small employer group is what we've been built on since our inception.
Yeah, right on. We're talking with Patrick Moraites, Axis Group LLC. You can find him online, axisgroupllc.com, and he is a professional employer organization, and it kind of works under a lot of different. When you're working with employees, you're basically utilizing economies of scale to create benefits there and help people, help business owners that you serve as Patrick save money through that economies of scale.
Yeah, precisely. So just to give a quick little background on a PEO, what you indicated, professional employer organization, but what does that really mean? I think it's more descriptive when co-employer is a better term that's industry known, because it is a true partnership. You as the business owner is known as the worksite employer, so you're in charge of hiring, firing, managing day-to-day activities, and the PEO is the administrative employer, so they're taking care of all the back-end burdens that you don't want to deal with. So payroll, administering payroll, paying your taxes, employee benefits, administering and providing workers' comp, HR, which is huge right now with all the change in rules and regulations with respect to what came out with the CARE Act, and even as a couple hours ago, there's so many unknowns with how to handle certain situations that we're working through with labor attorneys and HR professionals, because when you have organizations that are awarded the PPP loan, but then if your employee's been furloughed and they're receiving unemployment, but now their unemployment benefit is exceeding what they were making as a W-2, now there's a conflict because these employees don't want to come back to work. So right. How do you manage and work through that situation is a whole new dynamic that was not foreseen through this kind of pandemic and challenge when the government created the CARE Act. So it's uncharted territory for sure on many levels, but the PEO is there as an expert because they have the licensed and certified HR professionals and the labor attorneys on staff to help you navigate through that, to keep you compliant, to have those conversations, to keep you out of harm's way.
And some people are actually misclassified as well. They're working a 1099. They're getting paid on a 1099, but they're probably more of a W-2 employee. You had said quickly that you think that might change. That dynamic may change in the future.
I suspect with everything that's taken place, especially with how the PPP loan was structured and the last minute changes that took place, where 1099s were to be included, and then last minute Friday that morning they changed it and said you couldn't include your 1099s. So now it's preferential treatment is given to people that are actually W-2'd. Why? Well, because you're paying that that FICA, that payroll tax that's being taken out of the check. So I think we'll see an interesting dynamic and change to how people are classified going forward because of this epidemic.
Absolutely. All right, more from attorney Joe Kearns coming up. Rick Nickerson, more from Patrick Moraites as well coming up in our lightning round. We're going to have top tips, nuggets of advice, words of wisdom, and also jump into our lightning round now. And I want to go to attorney Joe Kearns, Kearns Family Law. Top tips.
Top tips for dealing with this kind of situation is you can't take all of your problems all at once. You need to compartmentalize all of these things and just take them one at a time. If you try to take them all at once, you're going to panic. That's my advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Break it down into small decisions, small movements. You get movement on one thing and you get momentum, and then you start to get that momentum, and then the dominoes start to fall. So you can attack all of them systematically. I like that. All right, right here in studio, Rick Nickerson, bottoms up.
Well, I first want to mention we are the floor removal experts. We're Florida's largest, floor removal company here in the Tampa Bay. We've got a high profile. We're here for you. We are working, thank God. We would love if you've got that remodel project and you're not living in the home. You've got a commercial project that's going. Call Bottoms Up, www.bottomsup.com. We're here for you. We're working in the community, and we look forward to your next project. Just wanted to touch base with what we were talking about before, the reason why stress can build up in times like this. I just wanted to tell you a feel-good story, kind of ties into what we were talking about a little earlier, in that the reason why the stress built up in my life so bad was because I was literally watching our business deplete by the moment, 50% capacity, and trying to figure out a way that we were going to just make it to the other side of this pandemic. We submitted our small business SBA loan, PPP loan, through our bank, Chase, and several days went by, turned into weeks, and then on a Wednesday, I looked at the bank account and I said, we're going to make it. We're good. God is good. So I just want to let you know, submit those SBA.gov, go through your bank, Chase. Chase has been a great partner with us, but the opportunity is out there for people. If you're a small business owner and you're looking for help, it does work. It worked for us. We're very blessed, and we're going to be here not only today, tomorrow, but well into the future. And we're very thankful for what the government has done, and it can work for you. I just wanted to touch base on that.
Nice, good stuff. All right, Patrick Moraites, Axis Group.
Yeah, Brandon, thanks for providing this platform for us to continue to communicate to the community and business owners and support one another. I think it's important that we still maintain some sense of normalcy through all this, and this is a way that we're accomplishing that. So thank you for that. For us, a common objection we always hear is, oh, what's the admin fee, and is that admin fee just for my payroll? Like it seems so high, because the administration fee that you pay with a PEO can be, upwards of 5% on your gross payroll. Well, it's in times like these where this is what your admin fee is for. It's the support that you're getting right now from the labor attorneys, the HR professionals, the claims adjusters, the payroll technicians that are pulling and compiling all the payroll data that you need to get this SBA loan. So I do believe that going forward, we'll see even more companies take advantage of outsourcing, or let's call it insourcing, and leveraging the companies here in the U.S. for their expertise, and continue to focus in on their core business. Like Rick's flooring business. I'm sure he didn't go into business to worry about his payroll taxes and how to pay those and make sure they're paid on time and everything else. So it's just those are my tips: is to really take this. If you have downtime, take this downtime to get back to basics, focus in on your core, and revamp, rebuild, because we all are in this together. We all are on the same page. No one is not impacted or adversely impacted in some fashion. So we're coming from a common place, unlike the last recession. And I think together as a community, we can move forward for the greater good.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good point. And this recession is a little bit different. It's going to be more of a V-shaped recovery. It's going to go. We got hit hard, and it's going to bounce back. We're going to bounce back. It's not going to be a long, drawn-out thing. It's going to be more of a situation where, and I think real estate's going to lead that back out. The people are still buying, selling, investing in real estate. It's going to be an area, a sector of the economy that affects so many people. When you look at when homeowners buy a home, what do? They rip out the flooring. They're putting in new flooring. They're remodeling the kitchen. They're adding solar. 3D solar. They're doing a lot of improvements on the property, and then that ripple effects into the insurance industry. So many different types of folks that are involved through real estate. So I think it's such a major point that we do get back to some sort of normalcy. We're able to, and again, great point. Utilize the downtime to improve your business, work on your business now rather than in the business like you normally do as a business owner. And it's a great time to maybe improve your skills, learn a new skill, get certifications done. Look at improving your websites. Lots of ways that you can use this time positively. And where you focus, your energy is going to flow. So if you're focusing on negativity, things that what's going wrong, that's going to expand in your mind. So if you focus on things that are positive and what you can do about it, then you're going to be in a much different mindset. All right, let's go back to Attorney Joe Kearns here, Kearns Family Law. Final words, maybe something inspiring for our listeners out there, Joe.
The one silver lining that I have seen from this is there has been downtime. I think regardless of unless you're like a nurse or a doctor, there hasn't been any downtime. But in my business, it has allowed me to kind of stop, take a breath, and kind of get back. Because I used to play guitar professionally, and I don't get to play hardly at all. And I finally put new strings on them, and I got to play them. So if there is something that because you've just been so busy, you haven't gotten to do, go back to it.
Nice. I like that. What do you play, Joe?
Electric. I play jazz, rock, blues, you name it. But I got acoustics, electrics, basses.
Nice. Awesome, man. That's on my list. I want to learn to play guitar at some point. Rick Nickerson, bottoms up.
I wanted to touch on what Patrick had mentioned, because I'm a firm believer that iron sharpens iron. In this downtime, we've got a schedule that usually we're super busy and it's go. Well, every other day my team is working, but I need to get them a certain amount of hours. So what we're doing is iron is sharpening iron. We are putting training classes together to improve machine operation. We're teaching some of our younger guys how to operate a jackhammer. We're setting up faux kitchens and things like that where we've had issues in the past, how to put up dust control, how to put up protection. And we're spending a couple of hours actually training our guys in getting better. And it's times like this when you're slow to reflect on things that went bad or how you can get better in the future. Like I said, this is the time to do that. And what a better way to grow. Training.
Yeah, I like that.
So we're doing that. Patrick, you're right. That's 100%. It's the best thing to do
Sharpen
right now.
the saw. Great time to do it. Great time to improve all the facets of your business, and look for ways to be that blessing for others. As we always say, the random act of kindness here. I want to thank Attorney Joe Kearns, Kearns Family Law. Support our show partners, please. KearnsLaw.com. Rick Nickerson, bottomsup.com, as well as Patrick Moraites, Access Group, as well. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Donate some blood, donate some time. Lots of ways that you can be a force for good in the community. And reach out. We'd love to talk to you on our hotline. It's an off-air number you can call, or hit the website up, consumerqb.com. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time.